Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone's having a nice fall. I didn't get out here yesterday because of the rain, and I think the day before because of the rain as well. And fall plus rain equals mushrooms. So today I wanted to go outside and double check to see if I had any King Strophoria or wine cap mushrooms popping up, because I've been spreading it all over my food forest and they are everywhere. So today we're going to pick the wine caps and we're going to make some fall soup. So fall soup is a favorite of ours here. We make it every single year, and it's kind of, you go out around this time of year and you just look for what's there. You stick it in a pot, you blend it, water, a little bit of butter, and that's it. So we're gonna make some fall soup today. There's definitely gonna be mushrooms in it. There's definitely gonna be daikon radish in it. There's definitely gonna be some tomatoes in it, garlic and onions, obviously. And we'll see what else we find. We're just gonna harvest some stuff, stick it in a pot, and make some fall soup. So we already harvested the wine caps because I came out at lunch, found a bunch out here, and then decided to come back out just before dinner. And I was a bit overwhelmed by how many wine caps there are everywhere. I've really been spreading it around the last little while, and they are popping up everywhere. You know, part of me is actually tempted to pull some of these Fuji apples off and stick them in the cooking pot. I think the kids love them and are excited to eat them so much that we might try that next year, but I'm gonna try to experiment maybe with some blackberries, like some fruit, apples mixed with the mushrooms. I think it would be really nice. Now here's some daikon, and a lot of the daikon radishes that I've planted I've done specifically for soil building. Let's just talk about that quick before I pull one. Okay, so if you're in a clay soil, a really hard compacted soil, or you're just like replacing grass where there's been a lot of traffic, maybe like vehicle traffic over the grass, a really good way to seed it into production is to spend a full season doing daikon radish. I've put daikon radish in a whole bunch of places, and I just basically leave them in the ground. So they break the soil up. They're like nature's decompactors. They're nature's tillers, and they make aerobic pathways for air. They make water pathways for deep water infiltration, and then they feed the soil life. You leave them in the ground, and then when the worms eat that, they're obviously also then replacing that radish with soft, worm castings. So it helps to make the ground more porous as well. Okay, so here's some daikons here. Another thing you can do is pull off some of these seed heads. They're actually quite tasty in salads. I might put some of them in the soup as well. So let's just pull some of those off. We'll grab some of those, and what we'll do is just, like, this is a bit of a small one here. So we'll pull this out. I think it's in there pretty good. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we don't need a ton of radish for our soup, so I broke it off. It's pretty small right now. They'll get 10 times this, well, maybe 5 times this big. So we'll use that radish. Okay, sage is like one of those miracle foods. It's kind of like sea buckthorn in that way. So we'll just grab a couple sage leaves and we'll stick that in the pot and grind it up. It's got a really nice flavor, but it's very, very healthy and nutritious. I just wasn't quick enough. I had a family of rabbits, like 15 of them all run away. That was kind of cool. That's a lot of rabbits. All right, so this works here. We got some beets growing right near the staircase of the rocks at the pond. So we'll harvest this guy, use the leaves and the beet itself in the soup. All right, so this backyard swale. Some people ask me about planting clover and wood chips. Will they go? This clover is clover that I just spread on top of the wood chips and then watered it in, and the water will drag it down. So you can see that you can basically just sprinkle it directly on top of the wood chips, no problem at all. But I do have, I believe this is anise hyssop right here. So we'll grab just a couple leaves of that. All right, we've got some chives here, so we'll grab some chives. And underneath the grape patch, we've got a bunch of Egyptian walking onions. And I look for when the clusters are kind of joined like this. So this was a bulb that actually fell down, and you can see they kind of sprouted out of the same area. A bunch, 1, 2, 3, you know, all sprouting in the same area, popping out. So we'll pull some of these out and we'll harvest those and we'll stick those in the soup. So this is basically what they'll look like. Pretty small, but like this one's regrowing a bit. I actually might replant this one. It's got a bunch of green new growth that you can use as well. You can use the tops and the bottoms. And basically you're just looking, every time you pull one, you take those seed heads and you replant them. So I did extract one from my system, but I'm gonna put, you know, another 8 or so back down in. So you can see I planted one here. So I'm just gonna plant a bunch more of these. And you can eat these as well. But to me, they're just more valuable as a whole other plant next year. So we're just gonna plant more of these kind of everywhere. Now these I truly have everywhere. Okay, we've got a big patch of perennial kale here. This stuff's really, really healthy and nutritious. It's a bit bitter, but it'll be fine in a soup, especially with, you know, butter and mushrooms and all the herbs. And you're just looking on the underside for any kind of insect damage. These basically don't get touched. I mean, something's eating them, but there's like no insects. So we're just gonna pop off a couple leaves of these. All right, so we actually just ended up cooking it because our kitchen was a bit of a disaster. But here it is, fall soup. It's got everything in it, and I've already tasted it. It's really, really good. Oh man, it is maybe the best soup that we've made all year. No recipe. You know what? Cooking with fresh ingredients is really like cheating. No recipe, no idea what I'm doing. Just grab a bunch of fresh, healthy food, stick it in a pot, blend it up, stick some broth, butter, and that's it. That's all the recipe was. I couldn't even make it again. Actually, my wife even joked because I said we should open up a restaurant and sell this stuff, and she said, oh, "Right, so you come in and say, I'd like the soup that I had last week,' and then, sorry, I have no idea what I put in it." So it's kind of funny, but you really can't mess up. So just get out there experimenting, stick everything that you got in a pot. You know, radishes in a soup, it worked. Anise hyssop in a soup, it worked. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Okay, so this is like actual first taste test. Go ahead.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
I like it. I love mushrooms. She doesn't like mushrooms, so. But we've been putting mushrooms in the tomato soup, right? And you like that? All right, give it a go.
Surprisingly not bad.
What was that pause? Texture?
It was hot.
Oh, okay.
Like hot, oven hot. No, I think it's good.
Yeah, you like it?
I would eat it. And I don't like mushrooms.
Right.
This was good.
That's good. So it's not bad at all. That was about 8 meals or so of soup for about 10 minutes of work. So thanks for watching. I'll leave you with a little slideshow of some birch polypore mushrooms that we found growing off of birch. Got them ID'd a couple times just to make sure that that's what they were. And we're going to dehydrate them, and you can use them in a medicinal tea. It's quite bitter, but it's a very healthy medicinal tea. So we'll give that a shot.